Hi guys, it's Ryan here with Sigma Survival, and today's short video is going to be about some different fire starting methods that you can think about using. Okay, so in my hand here, as you can see, I've just got a dog poo bag, because that's all I had on hand. I just wanted to keep it all contained. This is super light and I've got 5 different ways of starting a fire here. I'm missing the 6th way that I would normally carry as well, but I've also then got 3 ways of making it easier to start a fire as well. So let's go through what's in the bag. Anybody out there that's seen my EDC video, you'll know that I always carry a Bic lighter. It's super simple and easy. I don't want to be messing around if I don't have to. If it runs out of gas, I can still use the flint on it most likely in some cases, and I can potentially shave all of the plastic down on this once it's run out and use a flint and steel to get a spark really quickly. So method number 1. Method number 2 is just a match. It's a reusable match, so it's basically got a flint and steel on it, and you just put a little bit of lighter fluid in the bottom, or petrol or something flammable. You could even put methylated spirits, something like that, and that's always, it's not always guaranteed, but generally speaking I'm going to get a guaranteed flame out of that in most circumstances. Flint and steel, can't beat a classic, bushcraft classic. I do have multiple flint and steels. Some of the flint and steel video that I put out there, I actually used one of the little survival ones on a survival bracelet. Why do I do that? I do that because if I can train with the crappier versions or the harder versions to use, then using something like this is like, it's much easier and it's like Christmas. So yeah, flint and steel. Even simpler than that, matches, you know, we can keep it super simple. And a way that you can make this even better is if you take a fire log like this, open it up and take some of the squidgy stuff that's inside that burns really well, you can basically stick the match heads into that, and it will burn, the match will burn down into that. Put multiple match heads into it, I'll show an example of that soon. And yeah, just keeping it simple with matches, but if you want to make it better, you can do that as well. Okay, now we're getting on to the urban methods. Wire wool or steel wool. This stuff is great if you've got an electricity source, batteries. You could do it with a car battery, you can do it with even like a couple of AA's stacked up together. Generally speaking, this superheats the steel wool. Then you put this against a tinder source or some dried paper or something, you're guaranteed to get a fire from that in most cases. There's a magnifying glass as well. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's one of the methods that I've actually packed that away in one of my other kits, and I don't know where it's gone. So what I would say is that, see it more as a principle. So don't just look at it as though you have to have a magnifying glass itself. You can take apart like a scope or some binoculars and take the lenses out, and they will work just as well in most cases. I've even seen people take a Ziploc bag, twist it up and then use the sun's rays. I have to try this out myself to actually verify it for you, but in principle the sun's rays can get a fire going, so it's pretty cool, eh? Okay, so how can we make it easier to get a fire going? Well, this here is just a first aid alcohol wipe, isopropyl alcohol. It's larger than the little squares that you get normally. It's a bigger wipe, and it's also got multiple uses. I can use that for first aid uses as well. Here I've also just got a bar of magnesium. This stuff is amazing. I keep it in the original packaging. I've used all of the old one that I had. You just shave this off into a tinder bundle, and this stuff just goes up like you wouldn't believe. Another method that you could do, which I don't have in the bag, is utilise fat wood. Fat wood comes from like pine stumps close to where the root bundle is, and when the pine tree dies, all of the sap is drawn to the bottom, and pine sap in itself is very flammable. You just put a pine branch on a fire, and you'll see what I mean. So fat wood is good as well, but I don't have it in the kit currently. Guys, a candle, having a little tea light like this, it means that I'm able to keep a fire going. Let's say it's starting to rain and I've got a tent or something, I can quickly light this from something on the fire, put it inside that tent and just keep that flame alive for up to an hour. You know, if the fire goes out outside, I can still try and fashion something together and I've still got a flame lit. Also, I can just light this, put it in the middle of a set area, like I can build up the firewood ready to go. And you know, that flame's going to pick up and it's going to build up with some tinder, and it's going to be a lot easier than just trying to utilise natural resources. And finally, I've got this here. This is an expandable air tube. I just blow through this onto a campfire or onto some tinder once it's in the set area, like it's in a built up fire sort of structure, like you know, where I'm putting logs around it. This just helps get oxygen into an area where maybe there wouldn't have been oxygen. So very useful, and you know, I can utilise it for sucking water out of a hole in the ground or something of that sort of nature. But we also talked about fat wood. Actually, before I forget, I did bring another item that I did show. A fire log like this will burn for up to 2 hours. All I need to do is light the paper on it. Why wouldn't you carry this? It is a bit heavier, but it's guaranteed fire. You know, this can guarantee to save your life, whereas some of the other methods might be harder to use. Okay guys, so another thing that you can utilise is birch. Now this birch that's right behind me, this is, in my opinion, one of the best things to start a fire when it comes to natural resources. You know, even when it's wet, it's easy to dry out because you just put some of that tinder bundle that you create from the birch, you know, under your jacket or whatnot, and then, you know, your body heat will just work like a tumble dryer to dry it out. There's loads of like flammable resins in the papery bark that peels off really easily, but anyone that has a log burner or that comes out and does campfires often enough will know that this stuff right here gets the fire going, it gets it super hot. What makes it different to something like pine, which burns really, really fast, but then really hot really fast, but then it burns itself out because it's a soft wood. This is a harder wood, so it's denser and it lasts just that little bit longer. And you've got the benefit of having like what's almost like a match from the papery bark itself. So birch and pine trees, like, you know, these are things to look out for because they're pretty useful when it comes to burning stuff. So in my insect repellent video, I spoke about eucalyptus oil. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but due to the fact that eucalyptus trees are causing the majority of wildfires in Portugal, I've got a feeling that this stuff will actually burn. So let's take a look and see. So guys, it works. I've tried it on a piece of bark. It definitely got it going hotter. Amazing. This stuff not only is an insect repellent, an antibiotic, but it can also be used in helping with fire starting. You know, this stuff is flammable, so I have tested it on both the piece of bark. The bark went up much easier than what it would have. I tried it on a rock as well, just to see if I could get the oil itself to burn, and it didn't go so well. So, you know, just experimenting with it really. If you're in an area where eucalyptus trees grow natively, or you're in somewhere like Portugal where they're very common, just think a eucalyptus tree could be just as good, if not better, than something like birch. Yeah, get yourself some eucalyptus oil. This could save your life in 3 different ways from the way I see it. Stop mosquitoes and flies from biting you. It can get a fire going potentially, and it's an antibiotic. So yeah, definitely it's in my kit for sure. So here's a challenge, guys, before we finish. I challenge some of you guys to get yourself some eucalyptus oil, right? Go out there and just try and get a fire going with this stuff, and let me know in the comments if it worked for you. I'd really like some feedback on this. You know, I haven't seen many people doing this, so it'd be interesting to get a tinder bundle, and you know, when you just can't get it to get going, drop a few drops of this on it and see if it'll take a spark easier when that happens. Let me know in the comments if you give it a go. I'm really keen to hear about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you think I missed anything, or if you liked what I put out there. Let me know your favourite method of starting a fire. Is it one of the methods that I've brought out today? And please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. It helps me get the message out there to everyone about, you know, being more survivable in any sort of circumstances. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time.